Hey everyone, Crazy Canuck coming here at you again from frigid Saskatchewan, and today I'm doing a little bit of bee work. Been researching a lot of long hives and different kinds of setups, and I thought I'd use up some of my lumber that I'm cutting on my sawmill that isn't really good enough to sell for the bee, or long hive I should say. Nice thing about this is I line the inside with plywood, so the boards are 1 inch thick. Then you've got your plywood, so it kind of holds everything together better than a single piece of wood that cracks. I've also trimmed it with the same material. Like, you could use anything. I've got some spalted poplar that I could trim it with, or maple or something, but I just went with the tamarack. So she's all spalted tamarack. So what I did here is I recessed with the plywood to accept a frame, a standard, let me get it here, standard frame fits right in there, just like that. And then you can put on cover like that, and it's nice and level. So then you can build either a flat top on here, a peaked top, or whatever you want. So this is really great for your standard Langstroth hive setup. You can take your frames out of Langstroth, you put them in here, you're good to go. But I was researching the layens hives, which has a deep frame. And I came up with an idea that's kind of convertible, because we can use these frames in extractors with no problem. It works exactly the same, except that they build out this way instead of going up. And when I was looking at it, I've used Langstroths, and that's it. And if you want to check the brood, you have to pull off all the heavy boxes to get down to the bottom. Here you can just go in, and you have a board like that. If you want to check this area, you lift this board, everything else stays covered, and you can check one frame at a time. You want to extract honey, you figure out where your honey is, you can pull it out anywhere that it is. Really handy. I do that anyway, even with the boxes. I just pull out the honey that's ready for extracting, throw it in another box, and bring it up for extraction. So I'm pulling frames out one by one anyway, so this seems like a really good way to go. Now, for the interesting part, I have come up with a way to take this type of a setup and turn it into a layens type setup with one very easy move. And I'll see if I can, probably have to shut this video off, and I'll get it all set up and I'll show you. So here's the two frames. This is how it's going to be set up. And I cut the ears off the bottom frame. And then I made these two little copper clips that go in on the ends. Just like that. And then there's one on this side. It goes in like that. And that holds it together. So now you have a deep frame. So now you go, okay, well, where's that going to go? Well, you have two long hives that fit together. So you stack them, and you drop in your long frame like this, and you got a layens type setup. Now here's the advantage. Let's say you pull this out. I've got a foundation in this one. I don't have a foundation in that one. So let's say you wanted to go with foundation, then you could just pull the pins, and this would fit into your regular extractor. If you go foundationless, you pull it up, and let's say half of the frame was capped honey, ready to go. You could take a knife, you cut it out, and then you can do the crush and drain type of extraction. And once you got it in there, and the bees do their thing, they're going to stick that thing together anyway. And if you have an extractor, it's easy enough to pull those pins and just break them apart, and you're good to go. So I didn't have enough trim for the whole thing, but I put trim on the corners. That's kind of the idea. Now you could paint this, you could stain it, you could do whatever you want. I'm probably just going to do like a Thompson's water seal or something, because I want to keep that spalted look. I think it looks really, really nice. And once you get it all stained up or varnished or sealed or whatever you want to do to it, it'll really accentuate that grain. But yeah, just a quick video on what I'm doing with some of the lumber that's coming off the mill and some scraps of plywood. This setup will hold, this is 4 feet long, so this will hold the equivalent with the 2 stacked of 8 boxes, 8 Langstroth boxes. So that, if you've got a really crazy colony, they might be able to fill that up. I've had stacked 5 Langstroths of just the honey supers, and they filled that up a couple times in a season. So just a good idea to give this a try, and thought I'd share and maybe inspire somebody else out there. Might have some other ideas, but that should be it for now. And as usual, like if you like, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you again.